You came into this world fully awake. Every touch, every sound, every face that leaned over your crib. You absorbed it all with the intensity of someone experiencing existence for the first time. You felt everything: hunger, comfort, fear, warmth. You learned voices, recognized faces, formed your first attachments. You were completely present, completely aware. So why can't you remember any of it? This erasure is not accidental. It is the brain's first act of mercy, a neurological kindness that protects us from carrying the overwhelming intensity of those earliest months. But in that protection, something profound is lost: the memory of who you were before the world taught you who to become. Imagine experiencing taste for the first time. Not just sweetness, but the overwhelming reality of sensation itself. Every texture, every temperature, every sound arrived without context, without the buffer of familiarity. A baby's nervous system processes the world at maximum intensity. No filters, no expectations, no previous experience to soften the impact. This is why infant memories, when they surface in therapy or dreams, often feel overwhelming. Not because they were traumatic, but because they were unfiltered. The baby brain recorded everything with the clarity of someone who had never learned what to ignore. There was a time when you existed without the word I, when experience flowed through you without the narrator that now tells your story. You felt happiness without knowing it was happiness. You experienced fear without the concept of fear. You were purely present, a consciousness without commentary. This pre-linguistic self still exists within you, buried beneath decades of words and explanations. Sometimes it surfaces in moments of wordless joy, in dreams that feel more real than reality, in the split second before you remember who you're supposed to be. Around age 3 or 4, a veil descends. The continuous film of your existence suddenly has a gap, a vast, mysterious space where your earliest years should be. Neuroscience calls this infantile amnesia, but the name makes it sound like a defect. It is not. It is your brain's first act of curation. The developing mind cannot carry the weight of unfiltered experience and still learn to function in the world. So it chooses. It keeps the skills, the emotional patterns, the deep knowledge of safety and danger, and it releases the overwhelming details. What remains is not memory, but imprint, the invisible foundation upon which everything else is built. Though you cannot remember being held, your body remembers the feeling of safety. Though you cannot recall your mother's voice, something in you still turns toward that particular tone. Though the memories are gone, the learning remains, written not in your mind, but in your nervous system. This is implicit memory, the knowledge that lives in muscle, in breath, in the automatic responses that guide you toward comfort and away from danger. Your earliest experiences carved neural pathways that still influence how you love, how you trust, how you soothe yourself when the world becomes too much. Sometimes, in dreams, you are small again, not remembering being small, but actually being small. Seeing the world from that low angle, feeling that particular vulnerability, experiencing that intensity without defense. These are not memories surfacing, but the baby self, still alive somewhere in the architecture of your psyche. And sometimes, in waking life, a smell, a texture, a tone of voice will trigger something deeper than memory. A full body knowing, a recognition that bypasses consciousness entirely. In these moments, the forgotten baby reaches through time to touch your present awareness. Perhaps the inability to remember being a baby is not a loss, but a gift. Those first months of existence were so intense, so overwhelming in their purity, that carrying them as conscious memories might make it impossible to function. The baby self experienced love without fear, need without shame, presence without performance. If we remembered that state of being completely, how could we tolerate the compromises that life requires? How could we learn to wear the masks, play the roles, navigate the complex social worlds we must inhabit? The forgetting allows us to grow while keeping the essential learning safe in the deeper structures of our being. Neuroscience reveals that infant amnesia serves crucial developmental functions. The hippocampus, responsible for episodic memory formation, doesn't fully mature until around age 3 or 4. Before this, experiences are encoded differently, through emotional, sensory, and procedural pathways rather than narrative memory. This creates what researchers call implicit memory, knowledge that shapes behavior without conscious recall. Your earliest experiences with attachment, safety, and soothing become templates that influence relationships throughout life. The quality of early care literally rewires the developing nervous system, affecting stress response, emotional regulation, and social bonding capacity. Rather than viewing infant amnesia as memory loss, modern psychology understands it as adaptive forgetting. The developing brain prioritizes learning essential skills, language, motor coordination, social understanding, over maintaining detailed episodic memories of early experience. However, these early experiences aren't truly lost. They live in the body as somatic memories, in automatic behavioral patterns, and in the unconscious templates that guide our deepest responses to love, threat, and connection. Understanding this helps us approach our earliest selves with compassion rather than frustration at what we cannot remember. Though you cannot remember being a baby, you can still connect with that part of yourself. In meditation, in therapy, in moments of profound stillness, you might glimpse that original presence, the awareness that existed before conditioning, before the layers of identity accumulated. This reconnection happens not through memory, but through presence. When you sit quietly and breathe, when you allow yourself to exist without agenda, when you touch that space of pure being that still lives beneath the noise of thinking, you are meeting your infant self, the one who knew how to simply be before learning how to become.